Empire Talks back. I'm here, Wallace Allen, wondering where you have been. This is the time for Empire Talks back, right? Yeah. That's what we're doing. Okay. I'm Wallace Allen, on the case for truth and justice with the right information to help improve the situation. I'm here this morning with Miss Tammy Martin Riles, the Rile You Up person. Mr. Jerry Green has joined us as usual. And we have several guests. Tammy, I'm going to let you introduce those guests in just a moment. At this time, I'd like to remind folks to save the date. September 2nd, that's going to be the 2017 Route 66 Jazz and Arts Festival at San Bernardino Valley College Greek Theater. We're working out all of the great world-class musicians that will appear, and we want you to be in a position to support that, enjoy that. That will be celebrating West Side Story's 30th anniversary, and we are arranging for many of you to have free tickets, so stay in tune on that. And remember, disaster preparedness is something that we all have to be prepared, be involved in. If you don't know CPR, you're not going to be much help to your neighbor if your neighbor has a problem. And if I don't know CPR, I'm not going to be much help to you. So I suggest that we all do that. Now that we've got our lives saved and some direction on what we're doing in case we make it through the day, Miss Tammy, could you please introduce our guest?
Well, I am Tamara.
Should I start with a dark tone or something? You guys,
we want to make it through the day.
You want to make it through the day? Yeah, you better want to make it through the day, because if you don't, you might get out here driving and don't pay attention to where you're going, and then stop somebody else from making it through the day. We all have to be responsible, and we all are. I guess I'm in one of those moods. I've been sick, so I'm so glad to be alive.
Yeah. Did you get CPR?
I'm just happy I woke up this morning. And I probably might sound a little bit like
Reverend in your right mind?
I'm in somebody's mind.
Okay.
Wallace, you guys are going to have to forgive Wallace. But Wallace, the CPR thing.
Yes.
Okay, you slid that one in on me.
I did, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Do you know CPR?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, then I hope.
Charles Paul Roberts. But I need to learn the one that will help save your life.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was... Okay.
I'm so glad we got a minister in the house. So we can pray for you.
Yes.
Okay, you know what? Sometimes you guys, I really have to help Wallace and stop him. But Wallace, I am going to help you this morning, because you know what I love about this morning?
You made it.
It is women empowerment.
That's right. Jerry and I were just discussing the influence of the women in the room.
Yes.
How powerful it is already. I feel like I should be a nice guy today.
Yes, and these women are hot. I'm not just saying beautiful. I mean, they're hot. They're on fire. They got a lot of stuff.
I understand one is a motivator and the other is an operator in terms of helping people make money.
Well, let me introduce them from my left, and for those watching, they'll be from their right, so I don't want to confuse them. But we have Miss Robin Mansell. Robin Mansell is the co-founder of Girls Gone 4X, and it's all about the foreign exchange market. Now, we're going to come right back to you. She does a lot of other stuff, too, so I don't want y'all to get it twisted, okay? Multiple hats. All of these women up
Import, export kind of stuff?
No. We're going to get to
Okay.
it. See what you're trying to do? You're trying to guess this. I guess you probably could do some import, export, but we're going to talk about the real money. We're going to talk about that $5 trillion, okay? And then we're going to move on over to Miss Tamara Ellison. Yes, Tamara Ellison Ministries. This woman does everything, too. She can minister. She's an author. She's a motivator, speaker. Whatever you want her to do, she'll be like, I'm there.
All right.
Am I right, though?
She right about it. Bam.
Ooh, okay,
Bam.
good.
Yes.
We've got some great requests. I'm sure that we're going to move in your direction.
All right.
Yes. What is your minister, first of all? Right?
Yes.
Praise the Lord and thank you, Jesus, for all of that.
Yeah, lift your hand.
And I appreciate you coming in to help keep our show officially in line with the most powerful.
Amen.
Hey, now, what are you operating on? What is it that the first thing you'd like to tell people about what you do beyond? No, I'm not even going to put a limit on that. Introduce yourself. Tell us what is great about what God is letting you do.
Well, one thing I want to start that we're all ministers in our own right, whether we're helping somebody, black-owned businesses, whether we're helping women learn how to manage their funds and in the stock market, which, yes, Robin has recruited me, so I'm signing up. But I have a nonprofit called Empowered to Flourish. So we go into the schools. I've been in 4 schools in San Bernardino School District, and what we're doing is we're empowering young women. We're cultivating confidence as we we all know we have mothers, sisters, aunts here. And if you don't love yourself, don't tell someone to learn.
Oh.
Because if that first love, you have to love yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to be able to encourage yourself. And these are biblical principles that we're going into the school, but we don't have to say Jesus to represent Jesus. My life says that. So I go into the schools. I tell these girls that they are loved. They can do what society says that they shouldn't be able to do coming out of these impoverished neighborhoods. I was at Lincoln Elementary, Golden Valley, Arrowview Middle School, Henry Elementary, and I mean just the communities they come from and what they see, to be able to bring that hope and that life and say, look, you can be a doctor who said you couldn't. You can be an entrepreneur who said you couldn't. You can finish school. You could do it.
That's great. And many folks are out trying to encourage our children every day without even knowing what they're doing. And I do appreciate what you're saying about everybody is a minister delivering some kind of message. But as you work with these young people, how can you tell the effects of your message? Is there any testimonials, any demonstrations that show you've got had success, or do you just have to keep on going with faith that your participation is going to have an effect?
Well,
especially working with young people,
which is a challenge, because the first day I went into Arrowview, I felt like Joe Clark almost a little bit on Lean on Me, and I was like, "Oh, now you can call me Batman. I'm ready." My first student, she basically cussed me out and told me, "I'm not sitting down. I'm not listening to you. You're just another person who wants to come and try to tell me, you can do it, you can do it, but you don't understand my plight, Miss Tamara. You don't know what I've been through. You don't live on G Street. You don't know what I have to walk past." And then I had to, like I said, pull out my bat and say, "No, boo, you don't know me. Google me." I was a teen mom. I grew up in Rialto in the Meridians in low-income housing. I drive-by shootings, drug deals. I know what you're going through, and I made it out, and this is how. So don't give me that you can't and you don't know what I went through. So I think that transparency, a lot of people are going into the schools trying to help, and they ain't been through nothing. They don't have that testimony. And I'm not saying I can relate to every single instance, but to let them know I came from the hood. I know my brothers got jumped walking from Eisenhower all the time. And not until they found out he was a basketball star that they stopped jumping him. They start betting on him, but that's another story. And just to let them know I know what it's like to be on welfare. I know what it's like to live with roaches in your house. I know what it's like to have that and to try to overcome that mentally when there's nobody there telling you you can and you don't see it.
Do you think that the oppressive lifestyle that you've described there in general is holding back as many students as you would expect, or are you seeing students who have good lifestyles, homes that you think are satisfactory and with love and all, getting into trouble?
I'm so glad you asked that, Wallace. Ooh, because that's a misconception. Yes, oh, my Jesus. Yes, they are. But theirs is in a whole different level. Because, see, they have access to money to buy stuff that the kids in the hood can't do. So there I see, because I was in Altaloma School District, which has all the money and all the programs and all the wonderful things and the big, beautiful houses. But they're just as suicidal. They're just as depressed. Substance abuse.
Those issues go across class lines.
Absolutely.
And they still end up showing us as an overall group of people, folks that are in need,
right?
In need of self-respect, in need of self-respect because you want others to respect you, and that's probably, I know in my case, my parents expect so much,
right?
Okay, and with that expectation comes, if without expectation, there'd be no disappointment. So expectation sometimes defines what we really are capable or.
That's the difference in the two communities. I'm glad you brought that out because the expectation level of the parents of those in a certain class, a neighborhood versus the ones in the hood per se, that level of expectation is not there. That's what my program creates. And we say, we're going to follow you from elementary to middle school to high school. I want to know about your grades. I'm calling your counselor. I'm your new mama.
So that describes what generally anybody can be a somebody and do that
absolutely
thing of letting people know what we expect of them.
Absolutely.
So meeting a young man or young woman, a young child early on and talking to them, whether they're your child or not, can have a tremendous impact on them, because a stranger telling a child what they see in them is possibly more powerful than what the child's mother and father's impact is when they say what they want the child to do.
Oh, yeah.
Because the parent certainly, I mean, I'm a parent many times over, and with
many times.
I adopt so many beyond my own, and they treat me like daddy, ask me for money, and I ask them for expectations.
Right. That's when you know you're the father, when they start asking for the money.
Well,
okay.
And the point is when they start responding to the expectation.
Right.
So, as a parent, I've seen my children go up, and I've seen them go down, and they've seen me mentally do the same thing. But as a stranger to them, or as an outsider, you have to stay up with children. When I see someone else's child and talk to them, I'm always up. That's even more than when I talk to my kids, because my kids get to see me down as well as up. Your suggestion or your activity, I think, is a good suggestion for everyone else. We should, as we look at our children, tell them what we want them to be, what we think they can be, give them a vision as opposed to giving them the disappointment and pushing the failures of life in their direction. How do you feel about that?
And then I'll let Jerry. Well, I don't think we should start there. That is the misconception when you're dealing with the youth. You want to start with, most parents lay out, you need to go to school. You need to do this. Those are expectations. And when you're talking to the kids, they're like, well, what about me? Like, what about, the fact that, I'm getting, ostracized in my group of peers? That's big for them. As parents, we don't care. We like, if you ain't got nothing to do but go to school. No, that's huge. They want to be accepted in their peer group, or the boy who let them down, or the boy who played with their feelings, or the group of friends, which is really big. That bullying thing is
or the girl who broke his heart.
Or sometimes we have those on the other side, but more or less what I'm seeing is the lack of attention, the lack of acceptance in their peer groups, which are driving them to all of these other things that parents don't want. So I'd say to parents, because I get emails all the time from parents, oh my God, how can I have this conversation? Well, stop by asking them, how was school? Wrong. Start a conversation. That has nothing to do with them. You're just trying to see, did you meet my expectation today? That's the first mistake. What you need to ask them is, how are you? How were your friends? What did y'all talk about? What happened today? And then be quiet and listen. And don't say nothing. Don't judge. Don't criticize. Just be quiet.
I'm sorry. It's time for us to take a short break. We want to thank thank you, Tamara, for your information. We're going to ask you more at the end of the break. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. We are enjoying each other this morning, talking about our children with Tamara. We're going to be speaking with Robin Mansell in a moment. And you guys take your water break and be back in, 30, 45 seconds. Thank you.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
This is Reverend Judy Wortham-Sauls, First Lady of Holman United Methodist Church, to tell you about something that is of great importance to our communities. Thanks to the Affordable Care Act and Medi-Cal, 6.8 million African Americans became eligible for health care coverage. This is crucial, folks. I often hear personal stories about how Medi-Cal saved a son's, daughter's, or mother's life and saved families thousands of dollars in medical bills. At Holman, we are huge advocates of helping those in need, specifically if you require access to health care, which we all know provides peace of mind. Our communities need to thrive, and it all begins with our health. Let's stand up for Medi-Cal and continue to work to safeguard health care for all. The Affordable Care Act also boosts our economy and has created over 330,000 jobs for Californians. Remember, Medi-Cal enrollment is year-round. To find a clinic near you where you'll receive free confidential help to enroll, please visit localclinic.net. That's localclinic.net. Or call toll-free 855-899+. That's 855-899+. Stay loud, California.
KCAA.
Welcome back to Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen on the case for truth and justice with the right information to improve the situation. We're speaking this morning with Tamara. Tamara, what's your last name?
Ellison. I'm so glad
Ellison.
you asked.
Ellison.
Yes.
E-L-L. I-S-O-N. Very good. Tamara Ellison is a motivator, a minister, a conscious person who is passing information on to our young people and anyone else who needs the consultation for self and personal improvement and self-esteem. Mr. Jerry Green is here, and he's got a question for Tamara.
Actually, two questions. And being in a lot of meetings with government officials, our big push is cultural competency. And the first thing we think is just Hispanic, Black, Asian. But you're talking cultural competency from another level for what you experience that these young people are experiencing. And something else I would tell you to keep good information because you're doing market research. A lot of times people come from outside our community and want to tell us what we need. And we always saying that's always can be screwed just to continue, because how do we continue to have the same problems if you saying you're doing the market research telling us what we need, but the situation is still bad? Right. So, that's what I had to say. So I want to, again, Tammy, you've been in the school system. You probably can speak on that also.
Well, yeah, I think we have to understand, number one, and I know my professionals are out there listening to me when I say this, but do not expect just because we are teachers that we understand everybody's culture and where they come from. And I think that is the biggest misconception. And so when there needs to be more, we have a lot of professional development. Right. But in my opinion, coming to you nicely. In my opinion, no, I have to say that because I don't want them to think that I'm taking what they're doing and pushing it or saying that it's not. I think they have to dig a little deeper because, this is adult ran. This is not student run. So when you bring a student in, when we're doing these developments, this is where we're going to get the truth of how am I being looked at, of why I do not understand how to take a lot of these tests, because a lot of these tests, one of the tests says boogie board. And my kid came up to me and said, what is a boogie board? Right. And so that's culture. And so, I think with teachers, we have to reach out to each other. And I definitely, make friends with my teachers, with the other, with my colleagues. And I talk to them about culture because they might look at something that a kid and say, oh, he's disrespecting me. I'm like, no, that's not disrespect. What that is language of endearment. Right. And they just say, oh, you my boy, you my girl, you my... I said, no, they're not disrespecting you. You have to teach. Yes, and just show them how you communicate there. And then so when you tell them certain things, and now they feel like, oh my God, I can't even talk to you now. You take things to the... And so... See, that's another whole thing. The
communication with the student.
Yes, and that's a whole nother, and I don't even want to get into that. But
and the limitations that they have with the school district, because the teachers are paid to teach, so they feel like now you want me to be a counselor, now you want me to be somebody mama, I got to keep, and when I'm in the schools, the counselors are like, can you just handle it? They look so exhausted, and they're trying to solve an emotional problem with an educational curriculum solution, and it's not working.
Yeah, we're sending our kids to school with some misconceptions in terms of what the teachers can do, what we will allow them to do, and many of the things you want them to do, you'd be taking them to court if they did. We have homes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Let me. I wanted to talk to Tamara and ask her this. When I really asked, I want to kind of slide into it because we're talking about children, and Tamara does a little bit more than that. Her ministry crosses over into adult, and I think that we can talk about kids all day, but if we're not transforming the lives of the mothers and the fathers, and she wrote a book, it's called Mended, and she also have an event coming up. Mended is it's a daily devotional, and it's targeted towards women and girls, and it goes through, what am I going through? There's segments. She has 3 segments in her book, and I'm quite sure she'll explain a little bit more. I read the book, and with that, she goes through how you get through the next phase, and then how you become a winner in the end. And the book, after I read it, I said, oh my God, because it's easy to kind of like get caught up in the last ending. You forget what the problem was in the beginning. And I thought about it. I said, no wonder this is called like a daily devotional, because I think we need to read it like every 6 months. Every day. It's a 30-day book. And it makes it really easy to read. But I wanted to bring that back over to her. And maybe a lot of our parents, whether you come from different cultures, different, socio-economical levels, this is for everyone. Can you expound upon that?
Yes, I'm so glad you mentioned that, Tammy.
You're
Boom.
welcome.
Right
and
there.
And she is a BCCIE
I'm about to say,
board member and a member.
Wow.
Boom. Okay, go ahead.
Right there. We gonna add executive board member, because
yes.
I do want that title.
Yeah,
I want that title.
Okay.
I want that title.
Okay.
I'm gonna put that out.
Don't break your arm now. Go ahead.
Yeah, don't do it. Well, I'm excited. I'm glad that she mentioned that, because that's what inspired me to actually branch out to women, because I was like, you know what? The women, when I hear the issues, I had one girl tell me, and we don't say names, but she said, you know what? My mom had me as a teen, and she tells me every time she goes through something, I'm her issue. I'm her problem. And I was like, well, baby, you're not the problem. And, I'm hugging and I'm loving, because I'm like, I just want you to know. And then that's when God was like, okay, so now you need to do something for the moms, because they need healing too. They're only teaching them what they know and out of the substance that they have. So I have my Discovering the New Me Women Empowerment Workshop. The curriculum is designed for the schools, is where it started. And now we've branched out into we do the women. And then in this session, we dive into the more real issues that we can talk about. A lot of women's, we deal with emotional issues from relationships. Some people were raped, molested. I mean, we really deal with some issues.
What kind of attendance are you getting and how do you secure those people, bringing them in? Because all of us have problems, but most of us are not really trying to solve
talk
them.
about them.
Yeah.
Right. And you said that real good, so that's why we on the show. 2 snaps and a circle. Hello, somebody. So that's why we on the show, Wallace, because I'm here to tell you your baby feels your effects of your issue. And a lot of us were teen parents. I was one, so I'm not hating on you. I'm not knocking you. But we got to do better, because now you're trying to get out and get your Gone Girl on.
Let me say this about the teen babies. We all say don't do it. We ain't supposed to do it. My mother was 17. She was trying to get out of the cotton fields, and it was important. Nothing but love throughout my life. But teenage moms and dads and stuff, I don't see that as the problem. Because we say don't have that baby,
right.
Don't beat it. But as soon as that teenager gets pregnant, we absorb them, wrap them with love, and start taking care of it.
Absolutely.
So the problems are how we respond to things, because once we get into them, we're into them, and now you're there, and what do you do? And it's really important that we understand that, well, the difference between the New Testament and the Old Testament, the New Testament says forgive. The overall picture of the New Testament is forgiveness. So if you can understand yourself, forgive yourself, and move on, then we're in a position to make something happen.
That's what this is about, right here.
I would like to move us into what we do after we're secure, because after you get someone's attention, after you get the child's attention, after you get the mother's attention, they've got to do some things that after you say self-esteem is important, and they've got to be able to get into a self-esteem position. That means they've got to get better, not just the understanding that they can't, but they need some active proof.
And
what can they do in their lives to make themselves better? And I'm going to take this short break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with you, and we're going to look at what Miss Robin Mansell has to say about things that are available for people to do.
She can help.
Yes, because you don't have to be a professor, have an MBA, degrees in order to be successful in life.
Education does help.
Education helps, but specific education can be extremely helpful once you become that person that thinks, I'm not educated, I don't have any skills, how am I going to make it? You need to be able to get into some daily affirmations, a daily schedule to tell yourself that you are God's child and that you have a right to make things happen, and that you've got a plan. And we're going to discuss that right after this short break.
Yes. Very good, ladies.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
This is Reverend Judy Wortham-Sauls, First Lady of Holman United Methodist Church, to tell you about something that is of great importance to our communities. Thanks to the Affordable Care Act and Medi-Cal, 6.8 million African Americans became eligible for health care coverage. This is crucial, folks. I often hear personal stories about how Medi-Cal saved a son's, daughter's, or mother's life and saved families thousands of dollars in medical bills. At Holman, we are huge advocates of helping those in need, specifically if you require access to health care, which we all know provides peace of mind. Our community need to thrive, and it all begins with our health. Let's stand up for Medi-Cal and continue to work to safeguard health care for all. The Affordable Care Act also boosts our economy and has created over 330,000 jobs for Californians. Remember, Medi-Cal enrollment is year-round. To find a clinic near you where you'll receive free confidential help to enroll, please visit localclinic.net. That's localclinic.net. Or call toll-free 855-899-PLUS. That's 855-899-PLUS. Stay loud, California.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time you're picking up the show. It's morning here in San Bernardino. We had a little rain this morning. Had some. I was going to water my grass, and unfortunately didn't have to do that. So we're back. We've been speaking to Tamara Ellison. She is a motivator, a person who is speaking specifically to young women and their mothers about self-esteem and empowerment. We also have Ms. Robin Mansell in, who is discussing foreign exchange. And my point now is that we all need something to extend ourselves beyond ourselves so that we can be more proud of ourselves and know that we're helping beyond ourselves. In order to do that, we have to reach out. We have to learn something, and part of this means foreign exchange, because it's something that everybody's certainly not involved in. We're in a global economy. Many of us haven't been outside of our city, our county, certainly not the state, and our children if they're not traveling, they're missing that opportunity too, which leads us into another conversation in the future about some of the great work Ms. Riles is doing. Ms. Mansell, how are you this morning?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Great. Tell us about your endeavors with foreign exchange.
So my company is called Girls Gone Forex, and that is about teaching
Girls Gone Forex?
Forex, F-O-R-E-X. That is the foreign exchange market. And so we're teaching women how to trade in the foreign exchange market and how to trade like a girl.
My goodness. That seems a great idea. What's wrong with men? Can we come to?
There's nothing wrong with you.
Okay,
guys.
we just have to stay in our lane when we come. Okay, so foreign exchange. You're talking about exactly what?
The foreign exchange market is the currency market. It is where currencies are exchanged. It is a $5.4 trillion a day market. It is the largest financial market in the world. It is larger than the stock market. It is where currencies are exchanged, and it is where a lot of money is made.
Okay, let's show about people in a little example here so we see what's going on. I'm in, let's say I'm in France right now.
Okay.
And I've got my United States dollars, and how could I do something to increase the value of my $100 in my pocket?
Okay, so when you are a traveler, when you travel, like if you go to Mexico, like you said, you go to France, you have to exchange the U.S. dollar. If you're gonna buy anything in that country, you've got to use their dollar, their currency.
Which is a franc
exactly,
or the euro. What is it?
No, it's a franc.
It's okay.
And so you have to exchange that money. So that is the first level of where a lot of people are participating in the foreign exchange market. That's just simple as a traveler.
Yeah, but let's talk about the number. Now I want to talk about the number. So $100 US, and on the French market would be how many francs?
That depends.
Yeah, it depends.
The market changes.
That's why it's a money deal, because you can it changes. So let's say it's okay. What are the normal ratios, or some of the ratios you could talk about? Because this is exciting now that I know what you're talking about.
So again, the first piece of it is getting people educated, because people have heard a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of wrong information out there that people think it's as simple as
educate me. If they can't pay attention and keep up, don't worry about it. We'll talk again next week. Hook me up.
So we teach people how to be traders online. There is trading going on where there's no physical trading of dollars. That's typically the lower level of trade, which a lot of people participate in. But the level that we teach people how to trade is online, and you are following charts. And so you've heard of day traders?
Yes.
But you are trading in the currency market. So
as
you're
opposed
trading
to the stock market.
Opposed to the stock market. In the stock market, typically what you do is you buy low, and then what do you want to do?
Sell high.
Sell high. That's how you make your money. When you see people, like those people were jumping out of buildings when their portfolio went down, that was because the market crashed, right? In the foreign exchange market, we make money when the market goes up. We make money when the market goes down.
Both ways.
Yeah, both ways. So what you are doing is you are trading two pairs against each other. So one is going up and one is going down.
I have my dollar. I need you to use some specifics to describe this, because if we already knew the business like you, it'd be different. But we don't. So let's compare a dollar to
He's
a
trying to
franc
get
or a
some
dollar.
training in 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
I know, and that's why we have our class, because most people don't. So I'll just give you an example. So in the Forex market, how you make your money is on what they call pips.
That's going to be a gap. I don't care how you describe it. It's going to be a gap for the street folk.
And so the number of pips that you would gain that particular day, because you can make money every single day in the foreign exchange market. You can make it all day.
You're talking about the difference in the value today of the money and what it'll be tomorrow or later in the day. Minutes. Okay.
Sometimes minutes, sometimes hours. So you could go in, depending on what kind of trader you are, which we do that too. Camera is a student.
Oh, wait a minute. When did she become? Because I'm a student too.
You just became a student.
No,
ladies.
Okay.
Ladies,
We
hang
students.
on. You guys can see her later.
Okay, but
let me get mine in.
Okay, because I need to. Can I jump on the train with her?
Because we don't teach that.
Day trading. See, what we're talking about is making $1 out of 15 cents, people.
I'm trying to become a student today because I started
so that I keep everybody's attention, because we're in a lecture here, but I need you to understand, we're talking about making $1 out of 15 cents.
Exactly.
We're talking about increasing the value of what you've got.
And we in the moment. I'm just making sure
by looking at what someone else is valuing it at and making it available to them at the price they want to pay. You bought your dollar at 75 cents, and somebody's now willing to pay $1.20 for it.
Okay, let's get back to pips.
Sell that dollar. And that's what you're talking about.
It depends on whether the market, whether you're going bearish or you're going bullish.
If you're chasing the gap to make the money, you make money in your buy,
right?
Because you buy it at a price that you expect is going to sell higher. And if you see it high and you know it's going to go low,
right? You basically bid on it going up or going down.
Yes.
That's in the foreign exchange market. That's a market that we specifically work on. We don't do stocks. We just do Forex, because the market's open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, and you can make money in minutes. In an hour. You could stay in all day. Depends on what kind of trader you are. So that's why I don't mean to Wallace to not to be evasive, but
you're not being evasive.
That people get the right information, because that's the reason why we started doing it for females anyway.
But the fact of what you're doing, in some cases you're building shoes. If you're a shoemaker, if you're a car maker, you're making cars.
Right.
In the foreign exchange business, you're selling money.
Yes,
you're buying and selling money and making money on money. Now
Absolutely.
let me say this: if you know a real estate broker, they probably got a couple of 3 houses somewhere around, right? Because they just got the inventory. So a car dealer, he's probably got 5 or 6 cars laying around because, So a money dealer, what?
Money dealer.
They got money laying around.
Hey, money
the opportunity that Robin is expressing and exposing us to, because y'all got to get in line now.
Yeah.
I don't know when your classes are, how they're going to be, but dealing with money every day, we are on a losing game the way we're playing it now, because all you do is get it and go spend it.
Absolutely.
You're giving people an opportunity to dance with it a little bit before you, and then the money that you're using, it is a gamble, because you don't know what you're doing initially, but as you get to knowing what you're doing, then it is.
So that is true, and we don't put anyone out there before they know. We just had graduation. We don't put anyone out there before they know what they're doing. So you actually can open up a demo account. Anybody can open up a demo account. A demo account is free. You can open up a demo account, and that's where we start everyone with a demo account as we educate them. And then we have a system. And one of the myths, like you said, Wallace, this is so true, is that your risk, we show you how to, there is risk in everything. There's risk in us getting on the freeway today.
Right.
But what we do is we show you how to reduce that risk, because otherwise you are gambling. If you're getting on there and you don't know what you're doing and you haven't been educated and you heard about this, which, to be quite honest, was why we started it for women, is because that's typically how men do the business. They go on there and it's like they're gambling. They're trading, they're trying to make all
They're
this
learning
money.
as they go, which
Absolutely.
is definitely, I guess people would say they're paying their dues.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a different style.
Well, you pay your dues or you pay your tuition.
Absolutely.
You're going to pay to get the information one way or
Mm-hmm.
another. So one is more dependable than the other.
Right.
And
Exactly.
you have to just work
And
with
women
that.
think a little different. Let's just be honest. We think and we do things different.
I hadn't noticed that.
Really?
You notice that?
He's a jokester.
Mars and Venus. Good
Yes.
We have a little
Was that
different
good?
way we do business. We do sales different. We do a lot of things in a different way. So the instructor, I'm not the instructor. My business partner, Linda, Professor Linda, who has been trading for 15 years. See,
Excellent.
I made sure I partnered with somebody who knew what she's doing.
Right.
She's been trading. She lives in Dallas, Texas, and she's been trading for 15 years, and so she is the instructor. My job is a lot of what we've been talking about is personal development, is to make sure your head is right, because it's about 80% mental. 80% mental. It is what you're going to learn to do, but how you do it. What's going on in your head, how you think. Are you doing this because you think it's a get rich quick? What are your expectations? Why are you doing it? Like, why? Why are you doing it? Because you're just trying to make money? Or is there something behind that? Because what my job is to keep them in the class, is to make sure that they stay when they feel like, I don't want to do this, because she's a really strict instructor. She don't take a lot of excuses. And she wants you to be great at it. And so we just had graduation. We had about 2 months ago, we had 100 people put in the application. We did a free class. We have free classes now, but we did a 8-week course because we didn't want to put anything out there that we didn't have success from doing it. And there are classes, you guys can see them, that are $10,000 to learn to trade. Yeah. That you go, and they don't really care whether you learn or not. If you could write a check for $10,000, come on in to the class.
Normal.
We don't do that.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, but that's normal.
Yeah, that is normal.
When I say it's normal, if you want to be exceptional, you've got to do something on your own that's exceptional. Classes are there. We've got students with millions of dollars of loans to colleges that don't have jobs, don't have income, because they thought that something was going to happen based on them being there as opposed to actually involving themselves.
Yeah.
So there's technique after you graduate from that class, too, in terms of whose money that you're going to use to do this, because I'm sure there's some people who, would just as soon use someone else's money and give them some profit as they create some buffer for themselves. So we're going to take our short break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to discuss as a community, what do we do with the self-esteem? What do we do with our money? What do we do with our real concerns about our kids and family and interaction with the rest of the planet? Once we get ourselves squared away, or as we move from one plane level to another, what do we do? What's our responsibility to the rest of us? As you say, why do I want this money? What am I going to do with this?
We got to go to break, Wallace.
We got to go to break, Tammy. Thank you very much. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen, and thank you for being you, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
This is Reverend Judy Wortham-Salz, First Lady of Holman United Methodist Church, to tell you about something that is of great importance to our communities. Thanks to the Affordable Care Act and Medi-Cal, 6.8 million African Americans became eligible for health care coverage. This is crucial, folks. I often hear personal stories about how Medi-Cal saved a son's, daughter's, or mother's life and saved families thousands of dollars in medical bills. At Holman, we are huge advocates of helping those in need, specifically if you require access to health care, which we all know provides peace of mind. Our communities need to thrive, and it all begins with our health. Let's stand up for Medi-Cal and continue to work to safeguard health care for all. The Affordable Care Act also boosts our economy and has created over 330,000 jobs for Californians. Remember, Medi-Cal enrollment is year-round. To find a clinic near you where you'll receive free confidential help to enroll, please visit localclinic.net. That's localclinic.net. Or call toll-free 855-899+. That's 855-899+. Stay loud, California.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
Empire Talks back. I'm Wallace Allen. I hope that you're enjoying your morning. I hope we're being as informative to you as they are to me. I'm learning a lot this morning. As a matter of fact, when you get in line for Miss Robin Mansell's class, notice the person standing in front of you. Probably be me.
With a skirt on. With a skirt on? Because
and a wig?
Oh, something like that.
Something like that. Now, you had a question for Miss Mansell?
Yes, I do. So,
into the mic.
I'm in the mic. Yes.
Who said that?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we're talking with Robin. I'd like to dig a little deeper with, Girls Gone for X, because we have a lot of women, and we had a lot of women that are coming on live now listening, and they're sitting here because when they, and especially I've talked to a couple of women about it, and the first thing is, here's this get quick rich scheme, here's this, and I'm like, no, just calm down. So what just from your inboxes and the information that I've learned from you over the last 2 weeks, I'm trying to direct them. I think the most important thing is information for them, information of how they can get set up, where they can go, what does the first start look like, and then, kind of give them a brief, like, how long is the class, and so they have to see this process. Mm-hmm. So can you shed a little light on that for me?
Yeah, and I want to address something you said about people saying that using the term "get rich quick." Mm-hmm. So I have to say this. This is something I had because I get chills, and I actually want to tear up when I hear this. The first woman who introduced me to this market is a white female. Mm-hmm. 20 years ago, she paid $12,000 to learn to get into this market. She said it was a good old boys network, and we know what good old boys means, right?
That's right.
Okay, and she is a white female, mm-hmm. and she told me that they would not let her in because they would bring in their friends. I'm gonna bring in my friends. Because 20 years ago, the market wasn't open. People weren't, only big companies. Mm-hmm. Like 1 year, Chrysler said they made more money in Chrysler. They said they made more money trading Forex than they did selling cars. Wow. The banks put your money in the Forex market and give you 1%. Right. Okay, so this is serious. And she said to me that she paid the money. She said, well, you won't let me in. Can I pay? Will you take my money? And they took her money and let her in. And she's been trading. She's a swing trader. She's been trading for 20 years. She is a friend of mine. And she pulled me to the side and she said, you want to balance out the scales? You want to help your community? She said, then you need to teach them how to trade Forex. You need to do that.
That truth is not just in trading money, but also in trading commodities.
Absolutely.
And understanding how to make a dollar out of 15 cents.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're really saying.
Right.
So the complication of explaining it always is going to boil back down to, well, how much does it cost me to learn to make this money? How often do I have to go to class? And if you could answer that, tell us about the classes, how they can involve themselves.
Yeah. Or the thought that because I haven't heard of it, it's not real. Right. There's a lot of stuff you haven't heard of.
Fake news, and that's true. But I tell you, this is why you have to learn to think independently, because just like your mama told you when you were young, if everybody else jump off the cliff, you're going to go jump off the cliff. Well, that's an easy answer. But
come on back
what
in,
happens
Wallace,
when you start talking about your
money?
I
have to keep it straight, Wallace. Come on back in about that cliff.
Okay, so the process. I just had to get that out. But the process. The process is we started this company with zero money on Facebook. So you go to Facebook, you go to you'll see it everywhere. Girls Gone Forex EDU, Girls Gone Forex Prep School, Girls Gone Forex University. So you go into Girls Gone Forex EDU. We will allow you into the class. You ask to join, and then we will take you through the first steps, the process. Simple little steps. We have a getting started video. You walk through it. You can stay in EDU as long as you want. There's no stay there if you don't feel comfortable. You're trying to learn. Stay there. We have a whole group of girls who have graduated who will help you, walk you through the process. They will help you to make sure they will hold your hand, make sure you get that part. And then and only then, when you feel comfortable with that, do you move over to Girls Gone Forex Prep School. Prep school is a little bit more intensive. And so you have to start somewhere. And we want to make sure you get to dip in the pool. You get to see if this is something that before you spend a dime, you get to see whether or not it's for you. You might decide, I don't want to do this. I don't like it.
You did say spend a dime.
Before you spend a dime.
Yeah. What is the tuition? If we
so the tuition, so what we have done, we've been doing this all for no charge for the last, say, 4 months. Because
that certainly isn't like the Good Old Boy Network.
No, it isn't. No. And it isn't. And because we don't want to be the Good Old Boys Network. We want to basically empower women, because women give birth to male and female children.
That's right.
So if we go to the women and we empower the women, and they have children and they teach their children, and we do have a course for children.
You know, it's important that we learn to involve ourselves economically, and we want to encourage people to do that. But I think it's just as important to tell people what to do once we've got our money.
Absolutely.
And I'm wondering, as you bring them in, how you orient them to the responsibility of this new life that they're endeavoring for.
So those are through collaborations and partnerships that we have with people who have been in the business of money for years, who can tell you how to budget, how to do, take care of your credit. We collaborate with those people. Our lane is Forex, to teach you Forex. My lane, again, is to make sure that your head is right, that you understand the expectations of when you do this. You understand the responsibility.
That lane about the head right is the one that I kind of intersect with, because I want their head right, not just about the specifics of that business you're showing them, but the community responsibility.
Absolutely.
See, because this is the next step. Once I help you get rich, I'm not looking for you to run out there and turn into Trump. I'm not looking for you to go out there and turn into someone who cares nothing about your community, who thinks that the tax is the problem. You don't pay you can only pay the tax if you've got the money. And if you've got the money, that means you're in a better position than the folks that I'm talking about, us helping.
Right.
Okay? And I don't care what color they are. If you're, and I'm getting ready to go off again, if you're at the head of the table and you're eating, if you're eating and everybody else around the table is watching you eat, you've got a problem coming on. And so you can, from a selfish position, say, I'm going to feed everybody, or from a self-preservation position. But we've got to be more concerned about what happens to the other guy. And that's where I'm wondering, okay, panel, let's talk about the other guy. How important is the other guy in our lives today?
Well, that's one of the things that we're doing is, so we're teaching the young ladies to go out into their communities, so to pay it forward. So our teaching is that you then become what we call a brand ambassador, and now you represent what was given to you. It is now your responsibility to go out and spread the word and show other people the way, the truth. Show them, break down those myths. Show them that there is a way. When someone's saying, well, I don't know what I can do, I don't have any opportunities, why don't you show them how you were that person once, and now you have something that is intellectual property. Nobody can take that away from you.
Excellent.
Say, I know I'm going do a little scripture here, but it does tie in. The Bible says that we overcome by the words of our testimony. And I think that's what we need to give back to the other guy and hold fast to that. You need to tell someone your story. Show them. There's too many organizations, and I'm new into this whole thing. I've met some pillars and pioneers of reaching out into the community. And what I've seen is that everyone holds the information as if it's their own. I'm going to talk about it. Yeah. But we overcome by the words of our testimony. So if you have a program, if you have information, there's enough people, there's enough other guys that we can all pitch in and save somebody. And if we could just not be afraid of, oh, you going to do what I'm doing and you doing what I'm doing, and they not going to come to my event, but they going to come to your event, that's foolishness. There's enough people that need help, that we all have enough space to actually allow our programs to thrive and help the people who we designed them to help.
So you find very little resistance when you go somewhere with the idea of serving as opposed to going someplace with the idea of selling.
Yeah.
So our gift is to serve.
Right.
It's especially if you have something that you're trying to sell. And so to show that those things work and that there's no desperation to it, we are able to share that with each other.
Right.
Okay, so how do we do that on a business basis? You tell us about your Black Business Chamber, Inland Empire. Jerry, you tell us about your Black Business Expo. And this explains again, why are we suggesting that you should take extra steps to support Black-owned businesses? Why should we? Because if we support the Black-owned businesses and the Black-owned businesses display the attitude of these women here, we're going to spread this thing around and become valuable, not just to ourselves and our family, but to the rest of the planet. And I think that's what we are really endeavoring to do. Am I correct, Ms. Tammy?
Yes, and that's exactly why we have the Black Chamber of Commerce. It's because we want to bring people in to knowledge. We want people to talk to each other, sit down, get to know what these people are doing. Just bringing Robin to the show, I've had people inbox me, and I'm like, I wouldn't have known had I not gone out to an event and then brought Robin into the chamber. And then Robin's like, oh, I didn't even know that there was this chamber. So it's about bringing like minds together and, like you're saying, paying it forward. But I think a lot of people get into this thing of, oh, if I go into the chamber, they're gonna want some money, and then nobody's buying my product.
Yes, we want some money because it takes some money to make some money, but your money may not be cash. Your money may be an idea. Your money may be some land somewhere that you don't have a thing to do with until you come talk to somebody brilliant that can tell you what kind of development can take place on it. That's the extension of where we are. Listen, we already as a community have $1 trillion+ in our pocket. And we prove it every year by throwing it away. Now, at some point, we're going to circle that money back into the family and let it bounce a couple of times. And wow, if we could spend 10% of our money with each other, that's how many $1 billion is a tenth of $1 trillion? $100 billion. When is the government, your mama, your daddy, anybody given the African American community $100 billion to operate with? We're in a position to give it to ourselves. And that's what I'm pushing for. Why? Because I think it makes America stronger. And a strong America makes the planet a better place. America leads the planet, and we need to lead America in the right direction. And that I think is fairly simple. Not easy to do, but a simple goal. Go back, Tammy. You got it.
He's giving us the zero. Are we zero? Are we done?
Oh, okay, all right.
We need to tie it up.
I got a few seconds here. I'm going to let Mr. Anthony Garcia, our mood master, take us out of here tonight. But today, right now, I'm going to thank everybody for coming into the show.
Thank you for having us.
Tell us how to get to your after show, Tammy.
We're going to do a quick after show just to, give everybody a little feedback. You can watch me and Tammy Martin Riles on Facebook Live, just so he's counting us down. And then do it. Come to the Mixer tomorrow night. Bye.
If you've ever